Hey guys, it is me Simone. In this video, I'm going to do a remake video on a video I made years ago talking about how to make your own DIY wax paste similar to Prima Alchemy wax paste. So I wanted to make this video again because you guys could not hear me because at the time I did not have the best visual and editing and audio equipment. So since I do have better equipment, I wanted to remake the part where you guys could not hear me. So if you're coming from that video, this is basically going to summarize everything I talked about kind of that video so you can understand me clearly because I know this microphone works really well. And so you're not confused and no one has to keep commenting the same thing about you can't hear me. So let me get started on the basic things you're going to need. You're going to need mica, oil. I'm using walnut oil, beeswax, containers, a stove, a pot with water, and then some stirring equipment and gloves and maybe a mask, depending on kind of you. And I'll explain why you need those things in a moment. So let's get down to the part where no one can really hear me. So right now, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to get this container and I'm going to put it in my water. I'm warming up water on low. You want this to heat up slowly so you can keep your eye on it. You don't want to leave. This is something you're going to watch carefully. Right now, I'm going through and I'm picking out what kind of pigments I want to use. I'm going to be using this iridescent gold color after I put my gloves on, just so it doesn't get everywhere because it can get kind of messy. After that, I'm going to dump the entire thing in. This is 10 grams. Everything is based off of 10 grams. You're going to see later on that some of my containers are more full than others because some of the containers I use less and others I use the entire bag just because I wanted to see what would happen. The reason there's no recipe is because each mica powder responds differently to the oil. Some require more oil, some require less oil. That's why with certain containers, with different sizes, I have a 2 ounce container and then these are 30 milliliters. The ones that are 2 ounces look full, just like the ones that are 30 milliliters, even though they have the same amount of pigment in it, just because each pigment requires different amounts of oil. So I'm going to add enough oil in here until there's no lumps, no bumps, nothing. I want it smooth and flowing. After I do that, I'm going to add it into the water. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oil at a time, stir it, and then add a little more oil at a time and stir it. After that, you're going to add it to your simmering water, basically. You don't want it boiling, you want it simmering because you don't want the water to get in your container. I'm going to show you how to get it out later on because I did get some water in my container because I bumped it. You want just enough water in your pot that you don't touch the top of the container. So about half of the container or 3/4 of the container is filled. The water comes up to like a half or 3/4 of the container. So you see me, I had dumped my water out because I had way too much water. Okay, so about like barely any water basically. These containers are pretty small. Then I'm going to stir it and let it heat up. If you do get water in your container, all you need to do is actually just get like a little eyedropper or eardropper container and try to squirt it out because you see oil and water do not mix, so it's going to stay separated until you mix it, and it's be really easy to get out. You can see the little drop of water in there, just get a little squeezing, dot and get it out. Good as new. Then I'm going to let it slowly heat up. You're going to see a slight transition with the color once it comes like warms up basically. After you see it warm up a little bit, you're going to add your wax. Now, this is up to you. The more wax you add, the stiffer it will be. The less wax you have, the softer it will be. So it doesn't really matter because if you make it too stiff, you can always warm it back up and add some more oil. Or if it's not enough, you don't have enough wax in there, you can always warm back up and add wax. So it's really a forgiving recipe or experiment. So just I think I add maybe a teaspoon of wax and I'll just stir it in and make sure all the wax is completely melted. This did take time because I'm going really slow. I'm not leaving this thing, I'm just watching it because you don't want the thing to burn and you don't want the water to boil because you don't want the water to go into the container. The pot I'm using is dedicated to crafting supplies, so I don't use this pot for anything else just because I did spill some of my stuff into the pot which went to the bottom and you don't want to eat this stuff later on. So I recommend like going to the Goodwill or maybe getting some pots on sale. I got this pot for $5 at Walmart on sale. So you're not using one of your good pots. Okay. Once you completely stir it up, you can see I'm holding it down because it's kind of moving around. Once everything's completely melted, you're going to take it out of the pot and let it cool. I don't have tongs or anything, so I'm actually going to use some scissors and put a rag down so that any of the hot water doesn't get on my table. Okay. Once you take that out, you can kind of clear up your area a little bit and get ready for the next step. This step is very important. I have noticed that when you let it completely cool without stirring it, a hard like outer shell forms at the top, which is not what we want. I think it's the wax and the pigment kind of separating. To keep this from happening, you're going to constantly stir it to make sure they do not separate when they're cooling. Okay? Just stir it here and there, stir it, let it sit, stir it, let it sit. Just you don't want it to sit without you stirring it a little bit because you do not want them separating. I'm going to show you some containers of when I have stirred it. They're going to be a little bit bumpy. They're not going to be as smooth as it could be, but I'd rather it be a little bumpy and usable than to have the wax and pigment separate. Okay, that's the part of the video that no one can understand. Now, I don't know if you could understand this part, but I'm just going to kind of skim through as quickly as possible. I'm showing you all the different samples of all the colors I've made, showing you them on black and on white. This is on black paint and on gesso. So my bronze color, my iridescent green, my iridescent gold, what I just made in the video, my gunmetal, my fuchsia color, and showing that they're all dry and they're not coming off. And showing you a project that I made with them on it. This is a plastic mirror that I just attached them to, and they're perfectly fine. They're dry, no issue. I'm showing you a tag where I actually melted it on, not coming off. I'm going to show you a piece of wood, a resin piece I made. I think the best adhesion to resin is to put it on as soon as you take the resin piece out of its mold. That's what the packaging says. And this is some plaster of Paris. Just kind of showing you all the different techniques. I did not try it on metal. So if you want to try it on metal, you can go back and try it on metal. Okay. So I'm going to show you some of my containers that have different amounts in them. So on these containers, I only use about 6 grams of pigment. So I'm going to show you the difference between using 6 grams and using 10 grams. There's several different sellers on eBay. You can get 20 grams. You can get like 50 grams. It doesn't really matter. But this recipe is based off of 10 grams. And so everything else I'm doing will kind of fit. If you do more, you're going to need a bigger container and more oil. Another thing to keep in mind is the oil you use. I know people have told me that the walnut oil does not have the longest shelf life. This is the one. The green has 6 grams and the purple has 10. And you can see that better on my first video. I'm just kind of speeding past this so you can hear me better and I can explain some things. But people have said the walnut oil does not have the best or the longest shelf life, so please keep that in mind with your oils. This is a handmade product and it will not last as long as the commercial products. They dry up after about 6 months. They start to dry up after about 6 months. They will not completely dry up. I've had all my colors and it's been about 3 years and they're not dried up. There's still a skin at the top of all my containers and the products still below. You can always remelt them. And I've made another update video talking about basically adding glycerin and how long they lasted, and that was about 6 months after I made this video. So that will be linked below with the original video. Okay, what else can I tell you about these products? Basically, I did a disclaimer saying these are nothing like or not trying to replace the Prima ones out there. They're just a way to make your own if you want to. I did buy things in bulk a little bit. I bought my beeswax in bulk. I still have that big old bag to this day. You don't have to do this. This product can be very cheap and affordable. It just depends on where you buy your pigments. I can't go over the pricing, but you can hear that in the video. I bought mica from other shops. This one I think is from a makeup shop online that had really amazing shipping. And you can just get so many different colors with this. It's such a fun thing. But once you buy the basic supplies, you are set for life. All you need to do is buy more mica, and it's such a fun project, guys. I really enjoy doing this. I need to use my mica powder. My mica powders. I need to use my waxes more. I don't use them as much as I used to, but it's such a fun product, and I'm very excited to show you guys how to make them. I'm so glad that you guys like the idea. Another thing I should put in here: this was not meant to put on furniture. You can experiment. It does stick to wood and everything, perfectly fine, but it wasn't meant for that. So please, use some caution when doing that. And experiment and have fun. Much love, guys. I hope this video was helpful, kind of skimming through, and I hope you guys got some good information. If you have any questions, please link them, put them in the comments below. I love helping you guys out. Much love, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Get crafty.